Welcome to Whippoorwill Holler. I'm Miss Lori and this is Mr. Brown. We live in the hills of Arkansas. We love the Lord. Keepers of the old way, but accept some of the new. We love to cook and we love to eat. We love to garden. It's in our blood. It's how we stay sustainable and fill our pantry. We do a lot of canning and preserving. We live a sustainable life. We love our family. We work hard. And every once in a while, we like to dance. So y'all join us. You know, when we talk about, old school this, old school that, usually what we mean by that is the older recipes. Ding, there went my oven. It's the older recipes that have been around since probably 50s, 60s, or even past that, way back in the 1800s. But when we talk about casseroles, there's so many different ones out there and so many good ones. But when we have squash coming off like we do right now, this time of year, here in our area, especially here in Arkansas, and I'm sure in other states too, it's just, you can go out there every other day and pick squash. So there's all kinds of different recipes and ways of putting it up, and different canning recipes and everything else. But I do love a good squash casserole, and this is one of them. It just uses a few ingredients like mayonnaise and sour cream. There's no cream or nothing in it, and it's really good. So, and it's even cooking for two. It's a small batch of old school squash casserole.
What are you doing there, dear?
I'm going to saute the squash and onions together before we put our casserole together. So it's about 3 tablespoons of butter.
3 tablespoons of butter.
And this was about 1.5 pounds of young squash. And I took out as many seeds as I could because we don't like big old seeds in anything that we cook unless it's fried. It don't bother us. And I just cubed it up about 1/4 inch thick. I'm going to come over here and get me some onions. This was just a small onion that I diced up.
Nothing like that onion being sauteed.
Onion and everything. And you just want to saute this till it just gets tender. Squash gets tender. I'm going to put just a little bit of salt. That'll help get some of that liquid out of that squash and the onion. I'm going to go ahead and put a little pepper on it, because I like to season everything. And there's not really a whole lot of seasoning in this casserole. Pretty simple. Now usually when they make this casserole, they don't put any kind of meat in it. But I'm going to add some leftover chicken in it. And you can put hamburger, you can put sausage in it. You can put leftover taco meat in it if you want to. It'll just make a really good casserole. But this is just a good way to use that squash. Or you could do zucchini this way too, or you could even do both. So we'll let this squash saute up and let it get tender before we make our casserole. We'll add our chicken to it and all of our other ingredients, and we'll stick it in the oven. Stuff is pretty much done, but I'm going to put me about, I don't know, a good teaspoon of minced garlic in here. But I want y'all to look at this. I could eat this just like this. It smells so good. And this is the way that I grew up eating it too. My grandma picks up a mess like this with onions, just onions and butter, salt and pepper. So I'm going to put a good teaspoon of garlic in there. And this is pretty much done. I'm just going to saute the garlic a little bit.
It smells really good.
It does. Like I said, I could just eat it just like this.
Boy, that garlic, I can smell that now too.
Yeah. But we're going to mix some, I'm going to go ahead and put some chicken in here and all the other, there's going to be sour cream, mayonnaise, and a couple different seasonings. But the first thing I want to do, I'm going to go ahead and turn this off because we don't need to cook that garlic very long. And I'm going to put it in this strainer over here. And the reason why is because I want to let some of this liquid drain out of here before I make my casserole. So we'll just let that drain out just a little bit and let it cool down enough before I add my eggs to it. We're getting there. I'm going to turn my oven on about 350 and get it preheated. Okay, my pickles have been brining for way over a week, and it's time we're going to taste them. Now, I've already opened it up and looked inside, and there was a little bit of, just a little bit of mold on the corner of my lid, but that's all that it was, and there's nothing wrong. I just washed it off, and it's fine. And I done took, you can go ahead and take that. You just, if you have to, just stick your hand in there. There you go. We're going to take the weight off. Now, I've done had the weights off of it because I went ahead and took the muscadine leaves out of there because I wanted to see how everything was looking. And that's just spices on that weights, all that is. And you can see they look really good, and I can tell you I've done tasted them. They're still crisp, but we're going to get Danny's opinion on them. Remember what we put in here? We put a salt water brine, which was, I think, 8 cups of water to 4 tablespoons of canned salt, some pickling spices. What he's picked up there is some dill weed out of the garden. I put some lemon balm in there and some garlic. Did I say pickling spices already?
Pickling spices.
They're firm, aren't they?
Yep.
I heard a crunch. Heard a crunchy. I know they're crunchy because I've done ate one. In fact, I ate 2 or 3. I wanted to see how salty they were, and I think 4 tablespoons in 8 cups of water is plenty.
Pretty good.
So they're garlicky and they are dill. They are salt brine pickles. We did not use vinegar. It's just water and salt. But now that it's been about 2 weeks, so now what I'll do, and if you'll see, the water's a little cloudy, and that's the way you want it to look. That is showing you the lactic acid is in there. It worked. The fermentation's there. When I first opened it up and took my weights off, bubbles were coming to the top. So the fermentation was there and everything's good. So what I'm going to do now is I'll put them in a gallon glass jar that's got a lid, and I'll put them in the refrigerator. I won't process them at all because, well, there's no need in it. They'll stay good in that refrigerator 9 months to a year sometimes. We'll probably eat them before then. And what I do is I just add more cucumbers to it out of the gardens, what I do, as I go, and stir it around. And
Might put some onions in it.
Might put some onions in it. Might put some jalapenos in it.
Hey,
So
I
these
got
are
some jalapenos in the cake, by the way.
these are the easiest, and to me, I like them better than
Them be
canned.
so good on a burger.
Yeah, on the pressure canned pickles,
Side dish.
or not pressure canned, but canned pickles. I'm not a real fan of them. We're not big pickles eaters, anyways, but I like this way because they're crisper this way, and they just taste really good. So all y'all that tried this, I hope it worked out for you. I was a little late. I was gonna look at them about 5 to 7 days, and we've went over that, which is okay. We've been gone.
Yeah, I guess you could let them set a few more days.
You could. You just have to watch, make sure there's no mold growth or anything, getting in there. But
And supposed to be better for your belly, right?
they are better for your belly. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in a glass crock or glass jar, put them in the refrigerator. Then I'm going to start fermenting some kraut in this this crock. So that'll be next. So I got to get on with my casserole. Okay, in my mixing bowl, I've got my squash over here and onions that I let it drain just a little bit after cooking them, and let them cool just a little bit before I add my egg mixture to it. So now I'm going to add I got about 1.5 cups of shredded cheese. You can use any kind of cheese you want to. You can use a combination of maybe cheddar and some Swiss, or pepper jack, just whatever you want to use. This is, I think, a mix of cheddar and Monterey Jack cheese. I'm going to put that in there. And I got my chicken here. I'm going to say, you can use your leftover chicken, or if you've got a rotisserie chicken that you bought at Walmart or somewhere, use probably just a chicken breast, maybe 2 thighs, or if you want a lot of chicken in it, use like half a chicken, because remember, we're halving the recipe. This is cooking for 2, so we're not making the whole big recipe, but I will be putting both measurements for the whole recipe and the cooking for 2 recipe down the description box for y'all, because this is really good one to serve maybe on Sunday or just any meal, really. I wanted quite a bit of chicken in mine, so I put about 1.5 cups, and it's a mixture of chicken thigh and a little bit of breast that I had. So, in my little bowl right here, I'm going to put 1/4 cup of mayonnaise, a 1/2 cup of sour cream, so if we was making a whole recipe, all of these measurements would be double. And then we're putting 1 beaten egg. Okay, y'all, I'm just a little bit frazzled right now. Y'all seen where it stopped, where I was showing y'all mixing all my ingredients up. So we did get everything into the bowl anyways. And that's where my camera shut off. It's never done this before to me, so I don't know what happened. But anyways, after I was letting my casserole cook, so I went back to see the footage, and I told Dee, I said, it just quit. My camera just quit, and it may do it again. I don't know. If it does, I'll have to see what's going on. But I did get the liquid, the mayonnaise and all that mixture, the egg mixture, in with the squash, the chicken, and the cheese, and I got that mixed up. And I put it in an 8x8 baking dish that I had sprayed with some oil. You can use butter if you want to butter your pan or whatever. And then I mixed up 3 tablespoons of melted butter, and then a sleeve of Ritz crackers, crumbled up. Mix it up with the 3 tablespoons of butter. Then I sprinkled that over my casserole to give it a crunchy topping. All that was gone. It wasn't even videotaping it at all. So that's what I done. Then I stuck in the oven. So I just have to recap that, and I apologize for that. You know, that's just stuff that happens, and I could have just said, okay, I'm done. I'm not even going to put this video up. Danny said, no, go ahead. So anyways, I'm going to check it because it's been 15 minutes. And I think I'm going to give it another 5 minutes in there. It's not brown enough for me. But, you know, as content creators, you never know what's going to happen. I've never had to ditch very many videos, but I have in the past had to just not put one up because of just stuff that was not good, or it didn't film, or it just something all the time. There was no sound, or you know, just something. But it's hard work, y'all. But I'm really embarrassed because I thought, how did it just quit? It's never done this before, never. And so I'll have to make sure that I don't do it again. I'll have to go back and make sure that my memory's not too full or something like that. So that's what I've got to do. So anyways, so we're going to let this cook another 5 minutes. Then we're going to take it out, and I'll let y'all see what it looks like. And I can tell you, it's good stuff. But there's so many good squash recipes out there for squash casserole. And I have a few more that I want to do. And I also have some that I've done in the past. And if I remember to go back, I'll put those links down in my description box down with the recipe. So you can go back and see them, because there's several really good ones, even with zucchini, that I want y'all to watch if you haven't seen them yet. But anyways, it's that time. It's that time that squash is coming off. People are making, putting it up in the freezer. I've got video on that, and making relish. I've got a video on that. Squash relish is one of Danny's favorite relish that I make. He likes it better even than with cucumbers. So there's a lot of good ones. There's the squash that tastes like pineapple, that they can in pineapple juice, faux pineapple. So canned faux pineapple or something like that. I have yet to do that, but I have tasted of it, and it's really good. If I get enough squash, I might make me some this year. But a lot of things you can do with squash. Squash fritters. If y'all want to see me do squash fritters, just let me know. I do have some really good recipes for zucchini meatballs and stuff like that. So I'll put those links down below too. So let's get this out of the oven here in just a little bit, and we'll taste it. And then we're going to go out and we're going to look at my beautiful cut flowers. Y'all know how much I love my garden and how much I love my flowers. So I want y'all to, and we'll even cut us some cut flowers and bring them in and put them in a vase. So we'll be back in just a minute. Okay, I'm going to take it out. It's not quite brown enough for me on top, but I've got about 1/4 cup of parmesan that I'm also going to sprinkle on top here too. Let's gild the lily just a little bit. Or you could put regular cheese on top too if you wanted to. So I'm going to stick it back in here just a few more minutes. Let that cook. I've been rendering lard. That's why y'all see my slow cooker back here. If y'all have watched my videos, and they're older videos where I render down fresh lard, this is how I do it. And I also do it in a roaster pan too if I got quite a bit of it. And I do have quite a bit of it that I've been gifted. it was a real blessing, and thank you, Tina, for that. But we were just about out of the fresh lard from our own processed hogs that we processed, so we were needing more. And one of our friends had some and gave us quite a bit of fat to render down some lard. So anyways, that's how I've been doing it. Just a little bit of time here in my slow cooker. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to just really stand on top of it to make sure that it don't get too hot, because when you're rendering that lard and it starts after a while, it's really been cooking a while, and that's when your lard starts going the other way. To me, starts tasting pretty stout. So if you do it this way and you just give it its time and let it slowly render out, you get a better tasting lard. So that's a good way to do it. So that's why you are seeing my slow cooker here. So we got our salt brine pickles done, and I haven't got them in my glass jar yet, jug, but I'm going to. And I don't know what else. I've been cleaning today and putting things away, and you know, since I've been retired, I thought you're just going to have all kinds of time, but I think I've been home maybe 4 full days since I've been retired. So, and I was told that's the way to be. I'd be on the go all the time. And it's a busy time of year right now, y'all. So anyways, we're going to get that casserole out here in just a minute and let it cool off a little bit. Then we'll taste it. I'll show it to Yuns, and we can taste it. Then we're going to go out and see Miss Lori's zinnias. Okay, I think our casserole should be done. Yeah. It's golden brown on top. Yep, it smells really good. See how good and golden brown it is? There's no way I could eat this right now. It's too hot. Gonna have to let it cool off just a little bit. Okay, y'all, we're gonna try it. Mr. Brown's done left. Of course, as usual, he had another fishing tournament, so he is gone, but he can eat some when he gets back. It's got a crispiness around the edge too, and that's what I like. And it's still hot, y'all. But we're gonna go ahead and try it. Smells so good. This is like one of them comfort foods to me. So I see the squash, and I see the chicken in it, and of course that crunchy topping of the Ritz crackers. I know it's going to be hot. Look at that steam coming off of it. Do y'all like squash casseroles? But like I said earlier, you could use even a little bit of zucchini in it too. That's really good. You know, I was thinking earlier, the one thing that I usually do put in it with the chicken is I put a 4-ounce can of green chilies in it. So that's one thing that I forgot to put in here, but it don't matter, it's still good. It just has that old-timey, old-school taste to it. And that's the kind of taste I know a lot of y'all still like. That's really good. And it makes me feel good when you can make a casserole taste this good that don't have cream of something in it too. And like I said, you don't have to put chicken in it. You don't have to put any meat in it at all. So you can make this with a vegan mayonnaise and I don't know if they make a vegan sour cream or not. But you could also put sausage, like Italian sausage, or you could put taco meat with it. Either version's going to be good. And then put you some green chilies in it. It's a good hearty meal. It's a really good meal for a Sunday dish to go along with some mashed potatoes and maybe a salad and some other vegetables. Maybe a pot of brown beans. It'd be delicious with a pot of brown beans and some cornbread. Everything goes with brown beans and cornbread. Y'all know that. So, I hope y'all like this recipe. And I'm sorry that my camera cut off. Like I said, it's never done that before like that. But I know you get the gist of it. And I explained it to you. It's easy. And it turned out wonderful as always. So let's go out and check out my flowers. And let's get us a bouquet of zinnias and some wildflowers to bring in. Look at how beautiful my zinnias are. Now, if y'all watched my past videos, y'all seen where I showed where I first planted these 2 troughs full of zinnia seeds because I wanted cut flowers plumb up to frost. And if I keep these cut, they'll keep giving me more flowers. And that's what's wonderful about these zinnias. The vibrant colors, they're just so resistant against the heat and just all kinds of storms, a lot of rain. They just keep thriving. Now they will be good and they'll keep giving me cut flowers plumb up till probably I'd say November, the end of October, somewhere in there. It just depends on how the weather is. But I'm fixing to get us some zinnias to take in. We're going to make us a bouquet to take into the house. But I just want you to look at all these zinnias that I planted. If you come out here during the day, when the sun's really shining on them, you'll see butterflies and bees all over them. By this time of day, the butterflies they've kind of went off their way and they'll be back in the morning. I mean, they're so beautiful, you just almost hate to even cut them. But that's the reason that I'm growing them, so I'll have cut flowers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back here to some that's probably been bloomed for just a little while. And I'm going to go down to about the second set of 2 leaves. And I'm going to get that one because there's another set coming off of that one that's going to make more flowers. It's a beautiful, beautiful pink. I'm going to be going around the back and cutting some more. Look how pretty this is. Look how beautiful that is. I hope you can see it. Let's see. The colors are just, to me, they're just, you can't get anything any prettier, especially for cut flowers. I don't know if y'all can see this one, it may be too low, but it is multicolors. It's yellow, red, and pink. It's like a tie-dye. So it really doesn't take long before you can get a bouquet. All the different colors that you can think of. I've got some down here that look like they've been bloomed for just a little while, so that's the ones I'm going to trim. This one was over, so it's trying to reach to the sun, so it's all crooked. So the ones that I'm cutting are ones like this one right here. I didn't cut one off here, but you see there's another one. There's another one coming up this side, and it will make another flower just like this one. If I cut this little orange one, there's a whole nother one, 2 of them coming up. So I'll just cut it right there. Let's see, that's a pale yellow. So I think I'm going to get, this one's got a shoot coming up, so I'm going to get another yellow. There's a really pretty yellow one back here. That's just about, it's been bloomed for a while. Well, no, that's not poison ivy. But it was wound around it pretty good. So pretty. My beautiful lilies have been really blooming and looking really beautiful. It's kind of a, I don't know, I forget the name of these. It's kind of a salmon color maybe, but they've been doing so good. Looking so pretty. So this bed here that's in front of my greenhouse, last summer was full of zinnias. This summer I planted a bunch of wildflowers in it, and we're going to get some wildflowers to put with our zinnias. These right here, I have no idea what they're called, but they are so pretty. They're yellow, and then in the middle is a burgundy color. If any of y'all know what them are called, please tell me in the comments. Because I tell y'all, I absolutely love flowers. I just think they make you happy. But I don't know the names of all of them, whether they be wild or not. And I think there's some zinnias that did come back up here by themselves. These wildflowers are so thick, I'm trying not to cut anything that I don't want cut. Because they'll just keep blooming and blooming and blooming. And the bees and butterflies absolutely love them. There is a pretty lavender color. Look at how pretty that just little handful of wildflowers is. So pretty. And here are my coneflowers. What you can do is, there's a bee. You go right ahead, bee. But you can take everywhere from the petals to the leaves to the roots. Echinacea. Make teas out of it. You dry the petals, you dry the leaves, and you can even boil the roots. It's good for the common cold, sore throat. Very, very good to make tea out of. My mullein plant is doing good. Probably another couple weeks be time to harvest it. Well, we're back in the house with our flowers. And I've got a little vase right here. I had some flowers in it, so it's still got water, clean water in it. I got this little vase at the flea market. The top of it's in the shape of a heart. I only give $1 for it, and it's really heavy. That's why I love going to flea markets, because you can find some of the prettiest flower vases there for nearly nothing. I was out there messing around, gomming around, and my hydrangea bush has bloomed and really grew this year, and I showed that in one of my videos. But the blooms that bloomed earlier are dying off, so I want to dry them. So I cut them all off, and I cut them, this one I ended up cutting too much of it. You don't want to cut but just right below the bloom, because there's new growth coming up underneath that. So they have short stems on them. But I cut all of them, and I'll just bunch them up and put them in a basket and just let them dry like that. Hydrangeas make really pretty dry flowers. So let's get our flowers out. Our zinnias and our wildflowers. I ended up out there in the kitchen garden, and I ended up trimming a little bit of mint, and there's so much out there that I need to trim. I mean, it's I'll never be without mint tea, y'all. Never. But I went ahead and just trimmed some back because I was standing right there beside it, and this is not even the start of it. But you can put this, plus lemon balm. I have a bunch of lemon balm. You can put it down with your cut flowers, and not only does it give it pretty green foliage, but it makes the house smell good too. I seen some squash out there that need to be picked, so I ended up picking some squash, getting it off and I think I had a couple cucumbers. Now, I'm not very good at arranging flowers, but I do like for them just to look natural and just, I don't know. I watched this channel. I watch a lot of British TV, y'all, and I also watch British decorating channels, cooking channels. I just love watching them. I love listening to them. They have the most beautiful gardens you've ever seen. Over in the UK, over at France, and just different little villages and towns. I watch them and I just love them. And one of them, they call it, instead of like what we would call maybe vintage boho, or just, you know, like my house is done in primitive and vintage and stuff like that, and they call it knackered. Knackered or something like that. Knackered. So there's a show called Elegantly Knackered Diaries, and her name is Louisa, and I just love watching her go to the flea markets and antique stores and the stuff that she comes back with. They have some awesome stuff over there, y'all. But anyway, she goes out either to her little cottage garden, or she has an allotment too. But pretty much every day she has cut flowers on her tables, in her living room, candles lit. She just makes the environment really beautiful. But the thing of it is, she don't live in some big fancy house with, you know, washed white walls and white cabinets. That's not the way she is. She's like me. She loves vintage, knackered, primitive decor, and she does an excellent job with it. But she doesn't make things look too pretentious. Everything's just natural and just makes you feel good. This flower feels kind of like me. His back's kind of crooked there. Must have fell over and it was looking for the sunshine. But you know, even if y'all don't have a very big garden, you can grow these zinnias or wildflowers or any kind of flowers that are your favorite cut flowers. You can grow them in containers. You can go to the dollar store, Dollar Tree, and buy you one of them big containers, put holes in it if there's no holes, and in the spring, just the thing about when you plant so many seeds like I do, you got to go out there every single day and you have to water them until you see them come up. And then I start watering about every other day. But if you don't go out there and water them little seeds every day, they just don't come up as good. So I had to tell myself, Lori, if you want to have all these seeds come up, you're going to have to make the effort and get out there and water every one of them every day. So that's what I did, and all of them are doing so good, and it just makes me happy. Just makes me happy. I mean, who wouldn't love cut flowers in their house every day? And I don't know, y'all let me know in your comments what your favorite cut flowers are, so that I can get some ideas too. Now that I'm retired, next year I want to do a shade garden. I've got plenty of room to do that too. Danny's probably going to shake his head at me, but he knows how much I love this stuff, just like he loves fishing and hunting. So you need to cut your flowers in different lengths. So here is my cut flowers arrangement. It's got a little bit of everything in it, even some little bit of mint for greenery. Looks so pretty. And there's my hydrangea blooms that I'm drying. I just put them in an old trifle ball, I guess that's what it is, but I'm going to find me a basket. I've got baskets hanging everywhere to dry my hydrangeas in. So since they were already dying on the bush, I went ahead and cut them, and I'll finish drying them. They make really pretty dried flowers. So I hope y'all like this video. I hope you enjoyed being with me today. Squash casserole, checking the pickles, and picking flowers for a pretty bouquet. We'll see you in a couple days. We love you guys. God bless.